The Trials of Trobodon. Inspired by Mackenzie Yeager and written by Harrison Dirks. Chapter 6, A Guiding Tear of Light. Exhausted from her recent travels and public speeches, the Oracle was finally alone in her sanctuary. She shut the door, sat down in front of her piano, and began to sing.
I saw the younger universe, far past the places we should see. But for my vision I was cursed, torn from my home and family, lost to my crystal kingdom.
Your Grace, sorry to disturb you, but the Magisterium High Council requests a meeting with your greatness.
The Oracle sighed. She had been dreading this moment, as she knew exactly what the High Council of Magistrates would want to discuss.
As they wish.
The two began to walk down the elegant stairs of the High Temple, away from the Oracle's sanctuary, towards the council room.
Tell me, Mr. Harmonious, where do your loyalties lie?
I am loyal to the throne, your greatness, as I was to all oracles before you.
Does that mean you'll obey my every command? No matter how traitorous it might seem?
Your Grace, what are you talking about?
I am going to test you, Mr. Harmonious. Very soon.
They continued the rest of their walk in silence. As the Oracle opened the elegant oversized doors to the council room, all the members of the Magisterium stood at attention.
Your Grace, it's a pleasure to see you again,
said Councilman Figlima, the head of the Magisterium.
I keep telling the architects that we need to move the council room closer to your chambers, but you know those architects. Always so arrogant, talking about how it would completely disrupt their hierarchy of organization and all. Anyways, please, have a seat.
The Oracle never broke a smile as she sat down at the head of the table, directly across from Councilman Figlima.
I do hope you're settling in well. I have heard that the journey from Earth to Trobodon...
I hope you did not call me all the way down here to discuss how I'm feeling, Mr. Figlima.
A nervous blanket of silence fell over the room.
Well, I guess we'll just cut straight to business then. As members of the Magisterium, you know very well that it is our job to make sure things are always running smoothly in the great kingdom of Trobodia, especially during the dark times between oracles. We think you'll be pleased to know that our land is flourishing, even though we've been without an oracle for over 2 centuries.
Well, here I am.
So it would seem, at least to the common folk.
I beg your pardon?
Your Grace, as members of the Magisterium, you also know that it is our job to ensure that the Oracle is indeed, well, the Oracle. With the very unusual events that transpired at the portal, you know, with Trobodon and all, it has come to our attention that when you assumed the form of the Oracle, not all of your host's memories were destroyed.
How dare you?
Your Grace, there is no reason the true Oracle wouldn't have struck Harrison down and killed him on the spot for questioning your power. The mere fact that you saved him by transforming him into Trobodon is proof enough that you aren't yet completely the Oracle. That a bit of the Grace Dirks inside you still exists. For this reason, we are implementing a sort of checks and balances system until we are sure that you are 100% the Oracle the people believe you to be.
If you think for 1 second that I will let you and this power-hungry group of pathetic mortals try and take my throne from me, you are sadly mistaken.
I'm afraid the decision has already been made. I suggest you think about the chaos that would be caused by word getting out that the Oracle is not who she claims to be, before you do anything too bold. After all, knowledge is power.
The Oracle stood up.
Well, if knowledge is power, then it would be a true shame if all that knowledge were to be somehow erased. Wouldn't it, Harmonious?
Before any of the council realized what was about to happen, Harmonious unsheathed his trident and launched it straight into Councilman Figlima's chest. The oracle slowly began floating to Figleamer as he struggled to breathe, the trident buried deep in his chest.
Counsel man Figleamer, I'm afraid you are mistaken. In the words of Cersei Lannister, it would appear that power is power. And I have all of it.
The oracle smiled as Figleamer exhaled his final breath.
Will this be all, members of the oh-so-powerful Magisterium? I thought so. You know where to find me.
With that, the oracle, followed by Mr. Parmonius, left the room.
Good evening and welcome. Karen Schnitzel here with some breaking news coming from Egypt. American citizen Miles Updike has been amassing an army of 17-year-old men who have followed him across the globe to Egypt. Sources on the inside tell us that Miles's plan is to construct 2 massive stone pillars just outside of Giza. It is unknown if he ever applied for construction permits to build the pillars. Some parents are voicing their concern as they say, all Miles did was sing the song at our son's school one day, and that's the last time we ever saw our son, Timmy. Come home, Timmy. We miss you.
That's right, Karen. Our hearts go out to the families which have been torn apart by Miles as he continues to lead the children further and further into the desert. Thanks for tuning in to News Watch 7. This is Elizabeth Jiggleboom, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Miles, are we there yet? I'm getting tired. Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Hi Hungry, I'm Miles, and no, we are not there yet.
Will you sing for us, Miles? Yeah, can you sing? Miles, sing for us.
Okay, we're going to sing a song, just repeat after me.
We're searching for a faraway land, for Trobodia. There we will find my love. She's far away, my Elsa.
Okay, you got it. Now 5, 6, 7, everybody.
We're searching for a faraway land, Trobodia. There we will find my love. She's far away, my Elba.
No, it's pronounced Elsa, not Elba.
Are you sure, Miles?
Yes, I'm sure. None of you have even met her. Why would you possibly think it's pronounced Elba?
I'm pretty sure it's Elba. Wait, Miles, what's that? It's the pyramids.
Wait, those aren't the pyramids. It's just an old Base Pro Shops.
Oh man, dang it, boo. Damn this to heck.
It's okay, everyone. Just keep walking and keep singing.
We're searching for a faraway land, Trobodia. There we will find my love. She's far away, my
Miles stopped. Protruding from the sand in front of him was the first building they had seen in days. The words outside the building said, "The Sandbar." Oh, thank the Lord, I really needed a drink. Miles ran inside and took a seat at the bar. He spoke to the bartender. "I see what you did with your bar's name. Sandbar, because of the desert and all. Very clever if I do say so myself." "What are you talking about?" replied the bartender. "That's not why we named it Sandbar. We only sell sand." Miles took a closer look at the bottles behind the bar and realized they were all filled with sand. "Wait, So you only sell bottles of sand? Miles asked the bartender. Did you say you want a pint of sand? No, I didn't. 1 pint of sand coming right up. No, please don't. I really don't want to drink. But the bartender was already pouring a brimming glass of sand. Sir, I don't want this. Then why did you order it? I didn't order sand, damn it. You gotta pay for that, you know. I'm not paying for sand. I just want a bush light. Get out of here, you scallywag. And hey, aren't you that guy on the news that kidnapped a bunch of 17-year-olds? Get out of my sandbar. Confused and thirsty, Miles left the sandbar. Seeing the tired faces of his cult, he began to feel guilty about dragging them all away from their homes and into Egypt. Oh Elsa, he thought to himself. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing better than I am. Alright fellow travelers, looks like we'll all be traveling together again, said Trobodon. So exactly how treacherous is this path to the library? Asked Elsa. Oh, it's pretty bad. Like 9 out of every 10 people that go on the path die. And the 10th usually goes blind. Honestly, I think we're better off taking the train there. There's a train? Asked Elsa. Why on earth would we walk if we could just take a train? Well, most people don't like the train because it goes through the town of Theopra. What's wrong with the town of Theopra? Asked Elsa. Well, it's haunted. There's a phantom that comes out at night, and he's quite terrifying. Just thinking about the phantom of Theopra gives me the heebie-jeebies. But we are much more likely to survive the phantom than we are the walk. Let's take the train. It will also give you all time to rest. I'm sure you could all use some sleep. The group made their way across Trobodon towards the train station. Wait, hold on, said David. Is that the train? Of course it is. Do you recognize it? Replied Trobodon. Oh, do I ever? Said David. Caleb spoke up. David, what is it? What's so special about the train? David cleared his throat. Why, this car is automatic. It's systematic. It's hydromatic. Why, it's greased lightning.
We'll get some overhead lifters and 4-barrel quads, oh yeah. Keep talking, won't keep talking. Fuel injection cut up in chrome-plated rods, oh yeah. I'll get the money, I'll keep you get the money. With the 4-speed on the floor, never waiting at the door. You know that ain't no shit, never get lost in 10 grease lightning. Go grease lightning, you're burning up the quarter mile. Grease lightning, go grease lightning. Go grease lightning, you're coasting through the hip-lap trials. Grease lightning, go grease lightning. You are supreme, the chicks are cream for grease lightning. We'll get some purple French tail at the 30-inch fins, oh yeah.
As her friends began to drift off to bed after their impromptu musical number, Elsa was restless, as she couldn't shake the feeling that Miles needed her now more than ever. It was at this time that one of the attendants on the train walked into her cabin. Excuse me, miss, I couldn't help but to notice you seemed upset. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about my friend back on Earth. I've got a bad feeling that he's doing something stupid. What's your name? Oh, the name's Peggy. And Peggy, I work here on the train. And if you want to check on your friend, I might be able to help. Follow me. And Peggy led Elsa through a number of train cars until they arrived at one with nothing but a giant bowl of gravy in the middle. Now listen close, Elsa the Wise. We're supposed to be transporting this artifact to the library for safekeeping, so be very careful with it. It's called the Wavy Navy Bowl of Gravy. It holds about 32 cups of magical gravy created by the Oracle herself. I hear that it's difficult to use, but being an interdimensional librarian, I'm sure you can figure it out. Just be careful not to interact with the gravy at all. I hear that bad things can happen. I'll leave you to it. And Peggy left Elsa alone with the Wavy Navy Bowl of Gravy. As Elsa walked up to it, she noticed the gravy began to stir. Then, to her amazement, an image of Miles appeared. He appeared to be arguing with a 17-year-old child about which way they should be going.
Miles, please just look at the map,
said Timmy. No, I'm a man. I don't need a map. I know where I'm going, yelled Miles. In fact, Miles actually had no idea where he was going. At first Elsa was very confused. Why was Miles in a desert, and why were there so many children following him? Then, as she tapped into her interdimensional librarian powers, Elsa instantly realized that Miles had created a cult of 17-year-olds which followed him to Egypt so that they could build a portal and travel to the dimension of Trobodon. It all made perfect sense. Then, she made a mistake. Desperately trying to get him to turn around and head for Giza, which was actually only about 2 miles to the east, she yelled Miles's name into the gravy. As she did, a dust storm began to brew in Egypt and quickly overtook the cult of Miles. Elsa didn't realize that she was the one who had caused the dust storm, and she continued to yell for him to turn around. The more she yelled, the more intense the storm grew. As the cult of Miles struggled to find their way, Miles screamed out in anger and collapsed to the ground. Elsa realized what she had just done, and she began to weep. A tear rolled down her cheek and dropped into the wavy navy bowl of gravy.
Miles, look. It's the Persian meteor shower.
No, it's not the season for those. This is something else. It's Elsa. Everyone follow the light.